This channel is about the one part of this business that nobody actually explains: marketing. Literally, that is it. So if you want to learn how to make a model, how to generate her, set her up, and post 3 times a day, there's already plenty of that out there. It's everywhere, and honestly, a lot of it is fine. But even if you haven't made a model yet, I would still start here. But that's not what this is going to be. What almost nobody explains is the only part that actually makes money: the marketing, the brand, and turning her into revenue. That's my focus, because it's the only thing I've ever really done. I don't do prompts and I don't do hacks. I grow things. I take a business and make it worth more than it was before. So this channel is about the one part that was always genuinely difficult: turning her into money. All right, let's get into it. The mental model most people arrive with is about as simple as it gets: post a pretty girl, get views, get paid. And from the outside, that's exactly what it looks like. But every link in that little chain is doing far more work than it appears. The picture isn't just a picture. It determines whether anyone stops scrolling in the first place. The views aren't just views. They depend on whether the right people are even seeing the content. And the money is the furthest thing from automatic. The gap between that simple little chain and the way this business actually works is where most of these operations die. So let me show you why copying the people who are already winning doesn't work. Imagine you wanted to open a takeaway. You probably wouldn't copy McDonald's. But let's say you did. You go away and learn how to make a Big Mac. The first version goes exactly how you'd expect. Your burger comes out terrible. It looks wrong, and it tastes even worse. You try to sell it, not that you'd really know how, and nobody buys it because it's obviously bad. That's the problem everyone sees coming. And actually, it's the easy problem, because getting the burger right was never the difficult part. Here's the version that really catches people out. Like, you spend months perfecting it. You get properly good, so good in fact, that you build a robot to churn them out for you perfectly every time at practically no cost. Your burgers taste better than McDonald's, genuinely better, and you still don't make a penny because you never learned how to sell them. That's the whole thing right there. A better burger, made for free, at scale, and still worth nothing. Because making the burger was never the part that made the money. McDonald's isn't a burger. It's the brand, the locations, the consistency, the systems, and the marketing. It's the entire machine built around the burger. The burger is simply what sits in the middle. And that is exactly what most courses in this industry sell you: how to generate the images, how to set up the profile, how to avoid bans, buy 10 burner phones, warm the accounts, and post 3 times a day. They teach you the technique. They teach you how to make the Big Mac. And people get genuinely good at it. Then they sit there wondering why the money never arrives. It never arrives because they became good at the one part that was never going to make it. Because you're not the model, you're the operator. She is a disposable digital asset. You build her, you market her, and if one doesn't work, you build another. The job was never to make a girl. The job is to run the machine around her. And that machine is marketing. Now let's talk about the part nobody sells, because it doesn't fit neatly on a thumbnail. What should you make? Who is it for? Why does it actually work? And how do you build the whole operation so it can run without you sitting inside it every day? That's the part that stays valuable when everything else becomes cheap. Anyone can generate an image. That's already a solved problem, and it becomes more solved every month. But almost nobody can tell you what to make, why it converts, and how to build a system around it. That understanding is the thing with value. Everything else is just output. And here's how that missing understanding shows up in the real world. It usually appears as 2 problems that look completely different. The first, 40 reels posted, and not a single one has passed 1,000 views. Nothing is landing. The second, 100,000 followers with almost no revenue to show for it. Loads of attention, but no money. They look like opposite problems. One has no audience, while the other appears to have too much. But they have exactly the same cause: generic. Because when people finally turn their attention to marketing, they're usually told one thing: more. more posts, more reels, more platforms, more girls. But it doesn't work. You can post every single day for a year and still get nowhere if the content is generic and aimed at nobody in particular. Doing this properly was never about volume. It's about being specific. She needs to stand for something, and she needs to be for someone in particular. Because generic content can't be placed. The platform can't work out who it should show her to, so eventually it stops showing her to anyone. And generic content gives people no reason to follow. A follow is a decision. It's someone deciding that they want to see more of her, specifically. Nobody makes that decision about something generic. Being specific fixes both problems at once. But even when you get that right, there still isn't one single lever you can pull. Getting seen, getting followed, and getting someone to actually pay are 3 separate steps. Each one breaks for its own reason, and usually not the reason you'd think to check first. And the real money isn't even in the subscription. It's in the conversation that happens afterwards. The subscription is just the door, but every one of those steps deserves a video of its own. So here's the version of this business that actually works. You build something specific, something with a genuine reason to exist for a particular kind of person. You build a brand, not just a character, something that earns attention, earns trust, and eventually earns money. Then you build it in a way that allows it to run without you having to live inside it. Understand what you're building first, then build it, or have it built for you. That order changes everything. Because it was never the Big Mac. It was always the machine around it. And that machine is what this channel is going to pull apart piece by piece. How you get seen, how you get followed, why people actually pay, what a brand really is, and how you build one that doesn't feel generic, one video at a time. So if that's what you're actually here for, not making her, but marketing her, follow along. I'll see you in the next one.